Welcome back to Mark Haney, igniting the entrepreneurial revolution with the HaneyBiz Project.
Welcome back to the HaneyBiz Project, brought to you courtesy of Hub International. I'm Mark Haney, and I'm here with the Senior VP of Stifel Financial, Mr. Richard Botkin, in the house. How you doing, Richard?
Great, Mark. Good to be here.
You know, the subject of the day, we've been talking Bitcoin, but your favorite subject is the heroes of American capitalism, entrepreneurs. You are all about supporting entrepreneurs. You and I talk about this a lot. Why are entrepreneurs so special to you, Richard?
Well, we're in a culture war, Mark. America's vital life is at stake. You know, I started out writing a book about the Vietnam War because I think America is a great country, and I don't think the truth has been told about that. But as I got into this project with you on our book, I've been amazed every single day. Again, today, hooking up with Robert Beadles downstairs, just listen to his story. These are the people we need to celebrate. The men and women who are the entrepreneurs, they are making America a great country. They're going to save America. We need to celebrate these people and their stories. One of the interesting things, there's so many interesting things, all these guys have been knocked down. But they've all gotten back up. They all have comeback stories. They all have lots of difficulty. I think too often we see a successful person in the big house, the fancy car, the beautiful wife, whatever, and we don't appreciate what they went through. These people have all the problems that everybody else does. I mean, in interviewing all these people, they've lost spouses, they've lost children, they've faced financial difficulty, and yet they didn't quit. Yeah. I love those stories.
It's a story of America,
It
isn't it?
is, yes, it is.
Think about when people came over in the early, the early 1700s, 1600s. It's like risking everything putting everything on the line to try to start a new life for themselves. Doesn't that remind you of entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. That is America's story. It is. But, I mean, talking with Robert Beadles downstairs, he's going to double the size of his construction company this year. 300-400 jobs. We need to celebrate guys like that. We need to have more people like that.
It's amazing how entrepreneurs, have you found, so you're writing a book, Marcus is involved, I'm involved. It's about what we've learned on the show this last few years. We've met so many cool entrepreneurs. Some of my story has come out. We're going to share that in the book, but that book's not out for a while, so don't, I don't want the emails flying in too fast.
No, that'll be good. I need the pressure. I need the pressure.
You've been working on this for a while.
Glacial speed, yeah.
But thinking about this, what have you learned? You've learned about these entrepreneurs and the character, but what else stands out to you when you think about the entrepreneurs here in Sacramento?
Well, just within 1 mile of the Mark Tank here, we've got two special entrepreneurs that I've really grown to admire. Titan Gilroy, Frank Wegner. Those guys have amazing stories. Frank Wegner's story, when he was been on your show twice. The first time I heard L&H Airco, air conditioning company. Are you kidding me? But this guy has developed a process that is going to save hundreds of thousands of lives every single year.
Yes, by making the hospitals clean killing rooms, the germs inside the air of the hospitals.
Right, right. And it speaks to the story we want all of our young entrepreneurs to learn. It's not going to be an overnight success. I mean, you've talked about things, the 10,000-hour rule, don't quit. All these things, those things matter. When he started that project, he thought in 2002, I believe, they thought it was going to be a 2-year project. Well, they're just now about to wrap it up. But we lose 99,000 people a year killed because of hospital infections.
And this guy is an air conditioning guy, right? People today, it seems like in the news, everybody's talking about these, unicorns, right? These billion-dollar companies that are going to go public, and it's a lot of really high-tech stuff. There's a lot of innovative things happening in stuff that some people might think, it's just air conditioning. It's kind of low-tech, and you see that with Titan Gilroy as well. He's doing something in terms of manufacturing, but he's taken a very innovative approach.
Absolutely, Titan Gilroy. I mean, I think. Maybe Donald Trump stole Make America Great Again from him. Titan was on that for years. And when you look at where he came from, that's the beauty of his story. I mean, I think about when would you quit? When would you quit? I mean, when your husband or wife dies, when your child dies, when you've been put in prison. I mean, Titan Gilroy has a darn good story, and he's proud to tell it. And he's blessing so many people. It goes beyond just the money, obviously.
Yeah, and you think about entrepreneurs, right? The ones that have come on this show, without exception, are very humble. Have you seen that?
Absolutely, because they've been humbled, so they understand. And that's what makes them more human. Those are the guys I just have so much regard for, those men and women.
So we've been talking, you and I got off here today on the tangent of entrepreneurship. It's not really a tangent because that's the key to, it's the reason why I'm doing what I am doing and trying to promote entrepreneurs as the heroes of American capitalism, and the key to Sacramento's future growth, my hometown. But you're a wealth manager. You can step back and think about a balance sheet and how people might allocate resources, allocate their net worth, right? Allocate the different assets that they have. Talk to us a little bit about that. What do you think of Bitcoin? How do you decide when to go into stocks or bonds or Bitcoin or invest in another business?
Well, Bitcoin certainly is a whole new asset class that in my industry, frankly, we don't know how to deal with it quite yet. I mean, we're looking at regulation. Also, I was talking with Robert earlier. I don't think we have a good handle on it.
If you think it would, it's hard to know what would happen, what causes something to go up and down. But when people quit buying, it goes down.
Right.
And would regulation, do you think, cause people to get less enthused about Bitcoin?
Maybe not so much the currencies as much, but the concept of blockchain is clearly on the ascendancy in every industry. We're going to see that more and more and more. I mean, all mainstream American tech companies, or many of them, are in it. The big players, Intel, IBM, Cisco, Microsoft, they're already in it.
Okay.
And blockchain will be a bigger and bigger deal as we move ahead, for sure.
So thinking about spreading out our net worth, right? Robert said, "Don't kill the golden goose," and I have to applaud him for that, because I think a lot of times people are thinking, "I got to diversify." That's what I hear from wealth management guys like you.
Right.
But in reality, sometimes you got to go keep that golden goose if it's throwing off the right income stream or the right opportunity for your team.
Can't argue against that.
Yeah.
Right. But diversification does, in most cases, make sense, because if there are times when you have an Enron, and if you're all in on Enron, you're done.
Especially if you're going in stocks. Don't put all your money in one stock.
Right.
So just thinking about it, so if someone comes to you, let's say I've come to you and want to make an investment, right? Like I wanted to go in on Facebook because my wife was, an avid Facebook user.
Was a good call.
I'm like, okay, she loves Facebook. So, and I started using Facebook too, and now I'm sort of, social media has become a part of my life. But when they went for their IPO, I was able to go to you and say, "Hey, Richard, I'd like to get in on this IPO."
Got some,
and we got some, and it's done kind of like what Bitcoin has done. I got lucky.
Well,
on
not
one.
as much as
but
Bitcoin's
it's done.
killed
It's gone pretty. It's gone pretty well after going down. Thinking about that and how you, obviously going in on an IPO or something like a stock, most people don't understand that. So how do you decide when to send somebody into a certain stock, or how does that work?
There's a process. I mean, it's pretty plain vanilla. You go through a process and find out what people
figure out what makes them tick.
What
their long-term goals are.
Yeah, that's it. You know the drill.
I should be a wealth manager.
Yeah, you are a wealth manager. Yeah. No, it's that part is not rocket science. Obviously, the rocket science is knowing what the market's going to do, and I don't. But diversification generally. And trying to concentrate in areas where you feel there's better value at the right time. Yeah.
Now, are there stories out there of people just, like I talked about the vomit strategy, right? Where they get so caught up in their investment emotionally that when it drops, it gets cut in half. We saw that happen in 2008 and 2009 and stuff. And, everybody was nauseated at that time. But, there's part of your job is almost like psychiatrist, right? Because that vomit feeling, some of us are looking for the vomit. We might want to invest when things are low. But, a lot of us have also got in maybe at the wrong time and it's gone down, or a time when, things are volatile. So how do you hold our hands?
That's a very key issue. Investor psychology is something it's easy now because the market's been in such an uptick. But I remember in 2008 and early 2009, that was a tough time. There were periods of time when people thought the U.S. government was going to fail. And there was a period of time when you would lose money buying a U.S. Treasury bill, meaning you'd pay more for it than it was worth at maturity because people were so fearful.
Well, the animal spirits are out now. Everybody's talking like it's going to continue to go up. The stock market's up again today. It's just a lot of the conversation now. It reminds me of 2006, 2007, where in the housing market, we can't lose. This is too easy, and Bitcoin's going. Everything's going. But if you think about the biggest risks that we face today, as some of these global risks, I think about what might derail the market, right? So North Korea and so on. What things go in? What keeps you up at night in terms of a market risk?
Geopolitical risk.
Okay.
And I don't think that's something that's really in the market. I always look at the Japanese and Korean markets at the end of the day because they're a day ahead of us basically. And I'm okay, if they're up or flat, World War III is not going to start today. I do think the market is generally a good discount mechanism, although it can't price in World War III. Remember last week the thing in Hawaii where they had that false scare.
Yes.
If that had happened during a regular weekday, it would have been interesting to see how that would have impacted the markets because it definitely would have been.
Yeah, that was real fake news. But thinking about, China, South Korea, Japan, that they're the determinants on whether we have a major problem with North Korea. They're the first ones that are going to show signs of fragility. Am I right?
Right, I believe so. I mean, if they launch a nuke towards the United States, it's not going to, I don't mean to sound trite here, it's not going to be a good day anywhere in the markets. Won't be good. Even in Bitcoin, probably. Or maybe in Bitcoin. I don't know. If they wipe out all
maybe
the
go
internet,
digital.
Who knows? Yeah.
All right. So just closing thoughts. Only a second or two left, but closing thoughts about entrepreneurship and what you're seeing here in Sacramento. Advice and closing thoughts.
We need to continue to celebrate these entrepreneurs because they are the ones that are blessing everybody. I mean, even in the nonprofit, you had Steve. What am I thinking? From St. John's.
Oh, Michelle Steve,
whom I love.
Steve, yes.
They have free market solutions to help people. And she is running into a lot of flack because of that. And I see that, and I apologize, Michelle, we need free market solutions to everything. And yet there's a big sector that's not listening to this show, that don't believe what we believe, that they think we're evil, when in fact we're the guys that are creating all this. And we need to tip the pendulum. I think California's a little bit off the edge there.
Yeah. We need to celebrate entrepreneurship. I love California. I love small business, and I love what you are doing to help me with the book and help me in my life. I appreciate it, Richard Botkin. Thank you for coming on the show. When we return, I will be rejoined by Marcus Haney. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of the Entrepreneurs Organization of Sacramento and law firm Greenberg Traurig. This is the HaneyBiz Project.